Good morning and welcome back to your weekend unboxing here on Gaming with ADHD, where today we're going to be taking a look at G.I. Joe Mission Critical, the Chaos Break expansion. Now, this is an additional set of 5 figures for the Mission Critical board game. It's going to add new characters, new ways to play, new foes to fight against, and so we're just going to take a quick look at the contents that you get inside, and I'll come back for a review at a later date. Now, before we get started, do make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I try to put out a few videos each week covering all sorts of tabletop gaming content, whether it's board games, miniatures, role-playing games, or anything in between. I try to get all sorts of content that I'm interested in, and I'd love for you to come along and see what I have to share. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at this. All right, so this is one of the small expansions, and from the art on the front of the box, we can see which characters we get. We're going to get Beachhead, Ripcord, that's the one. Beachhead, Ripcord, Zartan, his sister Zorana, and the Dreadnought Road Pig. All right, so on the back of the box, you can get an idea of everything that's inside, a picture of all of the miniatures, but let's go ahead and get a close-up. Now, one thing with these expansions is they are very, very simple. So far, none of them have included additional rules, so something that will require you to change how the game plays. It's just different characters. They will have some different abilities, but for all intents and purposes, it just fits in with the existing rules. So, let's see here. Basically, it's just an info sheet for what you get inside. 2 characters, 2 lieutenants, a boss, the cards for them, the cards for the characters, and 2 additional vehicles. On the back of the sheet, integrating expansions, literally just add them in, and then credits. So, all right. Let's see here. All right, so they do seal up the plastic tray, so let's go ahead and pop that open. All right, now these obviously come unpainted, and in most cases, if you are familiar with G.I. Joe Classified, that's what the figures are going to look like. They're going to look like the classified art, but it has been kind of interesting because if they haven't been released yet in Classified, they actually go back and use some of the original designs. So this game, well, pretty much everything from Renegade for G.I. Joe is a mix of art styles. Some of it's new, some of it's old. Regardless, it's G.I. Joe, and so I'm having fun with it. All right, so these are the large cards that we're going to get. We're going to get Beachhead, Wayne Sneeden, Relentless Ranger. Once per battle during any hero turn in which Beachhead has no cards in his hand, Beachhead may perform an attack with 3 dice instead of playing a card. There you go. And Ripcord, Wallace A. Weems, Halo Jumper. Discard cards from your hand worth a total of at least 3 shields to move Ripcord to the location of the current battle and immediately join it. Alright, so he's going to be jumping around the board a lot. Alright, the Jet Unit Mobile Propulsion. So basically this is the G.I. Joe jetpack, which was amazing that G.I. Joe had them, and I never did in the 80s. Very frustrating. Roll 2 dice for each hit rolled. A hero shuffles 1 card from their discard pile into their deck. And then the Havoc, Heavy Artillery Vehicle Ordnance Carrier. Until the end of this battle, all double hit die results count as 3 hits when rolling for hero attacks. Alright, kind of cool. Alright, so those are the large cards. So you got 2 new characters and 2 new vehicles. Let's take a quick look at the cards that we get, and then the last thing we'll look at will be the miniatures. All right, so starting off with Ripcord, Parachute Assault, Paratrooper Carbine, Cargo Drop, Bongo the Balloon Bear. That is fantastic. This is a reference back to early issues of the comic book. Halo Jump, 5 dice attack, Fight for Freedom. Alright, so that's Ripcord. So interesting mix of cards for him. Beachhead, first in, first out. Or first in, last out. If this card is revealed for defense, deal 1 hit to an enemy card of your choice. No cards, deal an additional hit. Push to the limit. Intimidation. Patience. He gets even. And fight for freedom. Alright, so I'm thinking the Joes all get that one. I don't know. Alright, we then have Zartan's deck. Dreadnought Beatdown. 7 damage split amongst the heroes. Deadly Accuracy, 6 damage to the hero with the fewest cards. Master of Deception. 3 of those. And Mercenary for Hire. While this card is in play, anytime a hero takes damage, they must place a card from their hand face down on top of their deck. After this card resolves, return it to the top of Zartan's deck. Okay. And we've got Road Pig, Crushing Blow, Carnage, Brute Strength, Swatting Flies. Alright. Road Pig, basically, his weapon was a cinder block on a pole, basically. Alright, then we've got Zarana. So, ready to shred, ride or die, slip away unnoticed, and time to smash. Alright, and then we've got the deployment cards for each of them. I really like this art style where it's the color image, but then surrounded by the rest of the image in black and white. Basically, it just kind of gives you an indication whether it's a boss card or a lieutenant card. There is also Nemesis, which is sort of like an advanced lieutenant. That's what we've got there. All right, so we're going to go in Joe, then Cobra order again. So we've got Beachhead. The figure looks a little static. He definitely has more of a science fiction gun to him. You know, partly because of that square barrel. But he's got his big, you know, infiltrator backpack, I will call it. Plenty of extra equipment. I know they've done a classified version of Beachhead, but this also reminds me of the original. I had the original as a kid, loved it. So nice to have that one. Alright, we then have Ripcord, who obviously already did a Halo jump. You can tell that because he's got the mask and the oxygen supply. This, I think, is kind of interesting. He's got his parachute on the ground. He hasn't stripped his backpack off yet. And then he's got his M4 carbine. I mean, regardless, this is a nice little figure, nice little tribute to airborne soldiers. Alright, and let's do the lieutenants. Alright, so we've got Zarana. So this one's going to be a little bit harder to see because of the white plastic. Overall, the detail's really good. It is PVC, so it's a little soft, but the way that they've packaged them They should be nice and like there's a little bit of bend here in her little blade thing, but it's not too much. It's well within tolerance. I wouldn't worry about it. I do like there's like a rip. You really can't see it that well. Oh, there we go. That's a little better. But there's like a rip in her pants. So that's again, it's those little details that pull from that original material. All right, we then got Road Pig. He's got his football pads, the cinder block on basically like an axe handle. But yeah, it just screams the original figure. And then we've got Zartan. So very cool. He's got his hood as he should. He's got the little color changing plates on his legs. This can be really fun to paint because if you're familiar with the Zartan lore, like he turns kind of like a blue-green in the sunlight. And so you could either paint him up with regular flesh tones, or you could paint him up with the blue-green flesh tones, or maybe do like a mix. I don't know. You can have some fun with this figure. So regardless, like all of these are really nice. Again, they're not really adding a whole lot or much of anything to actually change mission critical. So don't think it's going to break the game. But if it's your favorite character or your favorite villain, you're going to be able to use those in the game now. So definitely keep that in mind. The retail price on this is $45. I do think that is a little steep, but these are 44 millimeter miniatures. That is one thing. Actually, let me switch back to the camera. So just as an example, this is a pirate from Blood and Plunder. And, he doesn't even come up to the shoulders of Ripcord, who's kneeling down. So these figures are all absolutely massive. It does make it hard to reuse them for other purposes, like if you wanted to use it for the role-playing game or something like that. But regardless, the miniatures look good. I've been getting them painted up and have been having a blast just going down memory lane, things like that. So overall, my first impressions are fantastic. I will have to play with the characters, play against the villains, see how those come out. But overall, I'm pretty excited about it. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. But other than that, I will have a couple links down below to our social media on Facebook, Twitter, where you can actually see, when we post new videos. I try to get those shared out there as well. But regardless, I do appreciate your time. Thank you for watching, and we will talk to you next time.